Ms. Frost for her report.
Good morning, President Taylor, and again, congratulations. You've heard this a couple of times to our 2024 committee chairs and vice chairs. I'll start my remarks today with the Stakeholder Forum and just acknowledge that it was an event that I think our stakeholders felt they were a part of and had rated it pretty highly. It does continue to be an important touch point for the stakeholders and the rest of CalPERS, including all of you. We were pleased to have a variety of members and stakeholders represented, whether they joined us physically or whether they were in the room. In total, we were engaged with over 500 people throughout the day, and about 60 of those joined us in person. We did start off with a networking session that rated very highly in the post-event survey, followed by presentations that shared important information and context about where we stand at CalPERS. Over 90% of survey respondents reported that they found the information to be useful and are likely to come back for stakeholder forums in the future. Many of the additional comments showed appreciation for being able to connect with the teams and with the board in particular, and not surprisingly, I heard the same from many of you. Connecting one-on-one and receiving direct feedback from those we serve is essential to doing our jobs well. I'd also like to thank all of those who joined us and to remind everyone that the forum is available for viewing on our CalPERS YouTube channel. And since we did mention the Riverside CB, it is an important part of the lineup that we have here in educating our members and getting our members ready for retirement. So we did talk about 1,400 in person. It's the largest CB we've had since we came back post-COVID, although I know we're still amidst COVID. But this really does reinforce the importance of connecting with people in person. However, we do continue to offer the virtual options because we continue to get feedback that some individuals are not able to attend these events in person and would like to keep that option available. So on April 10th and 11th, we will have the in-person, and then, that will be the virtual one with another in-person CB plan for Southern California in the late spring. And we'll get you those dates as soon as we have them. They are free and very easy for members to register for, so we highly, highly encourage participation. I have one last event related that is a save the date announcement for our annual CalPERS Education Forum. It will be held October 28th through the 30th in San Diego at the Town and Country Resort. It marks the 25th year for this important gathering. I know that a lot of our employer partners like to get this date on their calendars and plan accordingly. Registration will open in early June. Now to touch on our annual employee engagement survey. This is an important part of the human capital work that we do here at CalPERS. It's a valuable tool that we use to assess the culture and really to understand what's working well in the organization and the areas that we need to continue to improve upon. Based on 2023 research from Gardner, engaged employees are 31% more likely to stay at their organization and go above and beyond in their work. They were also 15% more willing to contribute to the company's goals. After adding 150 new team members through our rapid recruitment event last year, we were very much looking forward to seeing what the results would bring. We conducted the survey last fall and received the results from our third-party vendor, Perceptics, last month. And here's a few things of what we learned. 3% more team members took the survey than in 2022. That's just over 1,800 of our 2,800 employee population. We saw increased scores across all categories compared to the 2022 survey. The most notable increases related to having career opportunities at CalPERS, feeling valued, and recognizing and rewarding outstanding performance. One of the key takeaways of the survey compared to last year is the improvement in the Net Promoter Score. And the Net Promoter Score is to what extent or how likely would you be as an employee at CalPERS to refer a friend or a family member to work at CalPERS. That score continues to increase, and it is one of the areas that I closely monitor. We want employees who are working already at CalPERS to refer other people to work here. What they say about this organization is paramount. We realized another improvement that we're especially proud of, an increase in the number of responses to self-identifying demographic questions. These are optional questions the team can respond to, and I'm pleased to report that after 3 years of including them in the survey, the data continues to grow. We saw positive trends compared to last year with several identity groups. As far as areas for improvement, there are some recurring themes from the last 2 years. First, more than half the team believes we can improve communications between divisions and the handoff of work between divisions. Secondly, team members want to be more appropriately involved in the decisions that affect their work and also feel that sufficient effort should be made to seek their opinions. And then last, while we saw great improvement in valuing team member contributions, we still have an opportunity to grow in that area as well. The next step is for leaders across the organization to share the results of the survey with their own teams. We will also conduct focus groups to get a deeper understanding of some of the survey results. Numbers are an indicator that it will only give you necessarily the cause of what's causing that score to be a little bit lower than what we would like to see. So what has worked, I think, very well for us over the last few years is to conduct those focus groups, get the context, and really understand the expectations of our team on how, if we're scoring this, we'll say on a 1 to 5 scale, we're scoring this on a 3, what would it look like to be a 4? What would it look like if this was working at a 5 level, a superior level? And then taking all of that feedback from the focus groups and then creating those action plans. We know this approach does work. We did launch a recognition campaign last year in response to some focus group feedback, and we saw a 53% increase in the use of the employee recognition tools. In summarizing the survey, I consider all the feedback each year as a real gift to the organization. It does provide us with that opportunity to grow and strengthen the culture. While there is always room for improvement, we can be proud that we did see improvement across all survey categories compared to 2022. And then one last thing before I close, I would like to mention the State Employees Food Drive that ran from November 9th through January 8th. This is the annual food drive among state agencies that includes food and monetary donations, in addition to volunteer service hours at local food banks. Overall, the statewide campaign resulted in more than 11,000 pounds of food donated, $89,000 in monetary donations, and nearly 700 hours volunteered with nonprofit organizations. CalPERS was the top agency in monetary donations, raising more than $19,000 of the 89. We also had the highest participation in the Run to Feed the Hungry Thanksgiving Day race with 82 of our team members participating. Year after year, I am really grateful to work with a generous team that cares about our community. And I'd like to thank Susie. I think Susie Ishikawa is in our audience from our stakeholder relations team for serving as our food drive coordinator this year. That does conclude my report, and back to you, President Taylor.